Okay, so what's up, people? It's been a while. So I was supposed to upload this video yesterday, but I'm doing that today. So better late than never. So this is the third series. This is the second series, third series, yes, of my weekly documentary on how I'm spending this next 1 year. So I got challenged by my friend Olivia to document my journey, and this is my attempt at doing so. So I wanted to share three things that I'm currently doing. Two actually I'm currently doing, the one that I want to implement this week in order to get results. So my goal right now is to build a 10K per month business in the next 6 months. 10K per month business in the next 6 months. So if it takes 1 year, that's fine. But I want to build it in the next 6 months because I think that is what it can take. If it takes longer, it's okay too. So and I already know the inputs I need to do, but it's now about creating the habits and behavioral changes that's required to achieve this. So there's like three things I discovered that I need to actually fully work on if I were to hit this goal. So the first one on my list is a clear room. What do I mean by a clear room? So I discovered that my workspace, in fact, my space tends to be a bit disorganized. And when those clutter is in my space, I tend to not do what I'm supposed to do. I tend to be more lazy, not to tend not to be active, tend to procrastinate and all that because that clutter is probably a representation of what is going on in my head. So I can choose to fix how the thoughts are playing in my head, or I can choose to fix the clutter, and I think both will have an effect on the other. If I fix the thoughts in my head, I would eventually fix the clutter because I'm thinking straighter now. But the easier action to take instead of fixing the one in your head, it might just be fixing your environment. I'm a huge like environment is everything person. So this one is one that I've started implementing, and I really want to continue this next week. The other one is checking my phones first in the morning. I discovered that the real question I wanted to ask was, what are the things that are pulling me from work? Because I noticed that this cycle was happening all the time now. I would work in the morning. Sorry, I would go to work in the morning. That's do my dentist day job. Come back in the evening, go to the gym, come back. Then I'll feel like I'm tired. I can't exactly walk. So I want to sleep, but then I end up pressing my phone and all that, and that steals my sleep. I end up sleeping later in the night, maybe by 10, 11 sometimes, and I do not like get any reasonable work done. And I sleep. After sleeping, the idea behind me sleeping, even on days I sleep early, is that okay, I'll wake up earlier in the day the next day, and then I'll be able to get back to work. But that's not what ends up happening at all. What ends up happening is that when I wake up the next day, I will eventually still check my phone because I want to know what the time is. But that checking my phone is just enough communication with the phone to send me down a downward spiral of checking WhatsApp messages, checking e- um, status, social media. I still even kind of did this today, but I stopped myself as soon as I remember. I already pressed my phone and I remember that, oh, I'm in this loop again, then I stopped, which is always the best step to take. So the thing I want to do now, I want to get a watch, right? So I want to get a watch that I can wear. Well, I'll just use my laptop to be checking the phone. My laptop doesn't distract me as much, so that actually makes sense. So I can use my laptop. If I start working, that's fine. But checking the phone, they no. The phone is just this huge distraction machine. I wrote an article on that one time. You can check that out. So the third one I want to start doing. This one was very important because I looked at the way I was structuring my task, and I had a bit of reflection. Just like you know, I there are two types of thinking. There's the peak day thinking and the worst day thinking. So because I'm trying to achieve this goal, I structured everything towards like, wow, what would being what would an ambitious person structure his day like? If I had all my habits dialed in, what would my day look like? You read James Clear Atomic Habits and you feel on top of the world and you're like, wow, if I have all my habits dialed in, what would they look like? And then you structure to this ideal. You're trying to live up to this ideal, which is great in theory, but if you are living up to an ideal, you have to remember that this is an ideal, right? And there are days whereby you are going to be tired, you are going to have more work done, there's going to be more spontaneity in your life and all that. So you may not measure up to this ideal. And it's not even just about not measuring up to this ideal, it's the fear of like this idea being so far away that you won't even bother getting started, and half the battles when you get started. So that led me down the rabbit hole to discover what is called the ideal day thinking. Sorry, worst day thinking rather. So what would it look like if I could implement this on my worst day? You know, or what's the smallest action that I could take that could prove that I'm this kind of person? So yeah, so that's worst day thinking. And this worst day thinking is, for me, I send a signal tag to the group, right? So that's one concept. I have to apply this thinking together with the law of constraints by Alex Mose. Like a system will break onto a system will keep growing until its next constraint, right? To keep growing indefinitely until its next constraint. So a law of constraints is like, what is the one task that if I solve this problem right now, my business will grow? Just like people don't know I exist. And for me, it was like there were three things I needed to do, which was design funnels, reach out to people, right, and post content. So, which those three tasks I need to do them. They are very essential. But like, if I had to choose one of those three tasks, what would be the task that if I choose will make the most difference in my business? For sure, right now, it is reaching out to people. Like do not reach out to enough people. No many, not much people know I exist. If I reach out to people right now and I'm not getting responses, I know that I'll probably need to work on my content. On that. But like reaching out to people is by far the thing I need to focus on the most. So pairing this task right with the worst type of thinking, I came to the conclusion that okay, what would this look like if I had to take a smallest action towards this every day? If I want to be this habit of reaching out, I just need to reach out to one person a day, like a quality reach out, not just a half-assed message. I've passed the stage of half-assed messages, and I'm doing one quality reach out. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. That's all I'm committed to that day. But then this is where it gets interesting. I also remember this three-tiered execution thing, whereby you have your floor goals, your middle goals, and your ceiling goals. So floor goals is this worst type of thing. What's the smallest action I can take? Your middle goals, your normal standard goals of like, okay, I want to send maybe 10 outreaches a day. It's like it's achievable, it's not too much of a stretch, 5 to 10. Then there's your ceiling goal of like, okay, 50. It's like wow, you just broke it. So it's I want to start thinking of executions in this three-tiered approach. So the goal is like once I get started, once I hit my floor goal, gotten started, then I cannot go for my middle goal, then the ceiling goal. Okay, so yes, so that's all I need to do. Yeah, so that's all I need to do to hit my target. So that's very interesting. Which will also change the nature of my reports, right? So my reporting will change a little bit. So I have only one task. That's the signal task, right? This was the one thing I'm going to do today, and a relentless focus on this one thing. Every other thing is great, but this is the one thing that I need to focus on as to move the business forward. So focus on it and break that now. That one thing, that's the signal task. Break it into three layers. So you have a version one of it, that's your flow. You have a V2 of it and your V3 of it. Okay, so yep. So your job is to seek this every day. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the screen because I'm writing this thing down on a piece of paper as I'm talking, and I wish I have to get a better system soon so I can actually record these videos on the system. It's actually be cooler that way. So that is those are the three things I really want to share today. So I'll give feedback on how this goes. Probably write an article about it, and we'll see. So thanks for watching this. If nobody watches, that's totally fine too. So talk to you guys another time later. Ciao.